Good morning to you. Good morning to you wherever you are at this time. It's this segment, Good Morning Grenada, where we just touch base. It's 24 minutes on to 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock workers, you should be very close to your workplace, all right? Good, and as is customary this morning, we'll start off with the word of the day, and the word of the day is peculiar. Yeah? Peculiar. That's a nice word. We are a peculiar people. Yeah. Different to the rest of the world. And it is spelled P-E-C-U-L-I-A-R. So the word for the day, peculiar. P-E-C-U-L-I-A-R. Jot it down in that notebook, that vocabulary notebook. Yeah. And peculiar describes people and things that are different from the usual or normal, or that are characteristic of only one person, group, or thing. Yeah, that's what it means. It's a noun, okay? No, it's an adjective, actually. And it describes people and things that are different from the usual or normal, or that are characteristic of only one person, group, or thing. Here's how we can use this word in a sentence or two. The dog's peculiar behavior worried them. The dog's peculiar behavior worried them. We can also say he shared customs that were peculiar to his home country, like karaoke, the big drum dancing. Nice. So that was the word for the day, peculiar. Remember that, okay? Now let's look at the thought for the day. A good life is when you smile often, dream big, laugh a lot, and realize how blessed you are for what you have. You might not have much, but yeah, find much in the little that you have. So the thought for the day, a good life is when you smile often, dream big, laugh a lot, and realize how blessed you are for what you have. Nice. And of course, it's that time again when we give you this question on the United Nations. Remember that that promotion runs up to the 31st of October. And it's for any student, primary, secondary. All right, you may answer the question, and yeah, you'll be awarded prizes. Okay. And the question this morning is very simple. Very simple. What is the United Nations? And what does it do? Give me a call, 435-2041. What is the United Nations? And what does it do? Good morning to all those of you just joining us. Welcome on board, all our online listeners and viewers. Good morning. What is the United Nations and what does it do? Yeah, tell me, and just answer this question. And just like that, you can win yourself a very, very lovely prize. Yeah. Good. It's 20 minutes on to 7. 7 o'clock workers. Should be close, yeah? You've got 5 minutes to reach on the workplace, and so that you can be classified as being on time. If you got to start work at 7, you got to give yourself 15 minutes to settle in. Yeah. And we head to the telephone line. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
And where are you calling me from?
The United Nations is an international organization composed with sovereign states which has resolved to combine their efforts to accomplish their aims as set forth in the 1940 Charter of the United States Nations.
So where are you calling me from?
Walker, St. Andrews.
Walker in St. Andrew. And how is Walker this morning? Is it cloudy up there?
Yes.
It's cloudy. Okay. Oh, and what school do you attend?
St. Andrews Learning Center.
St. Andrews Learning Center. Okay.
Yeah.
And who's your favorite teacher there?
Miss Finley and Miss Banfield.
Miss Finley and Miss Banfield. Okay, well, Miss Finley and Miss Banfield, I hope you're listening this morning because you've got a big up coming up from one of your students. All right, and can you tell me your name, please?
Asia Mason.
What is it? Asia Mason. By chance, are you related to a gentleman named Mr. Urban Mason?
Yes.
Okay, and what is Mr. Mason to you?
Cousin.
Oh, he's your cousin. Okay. All right, Asia. Well, yes, you are correct this morning, and you will be hearing from us, and so we can tell you when you can come in to collect your prize, right?
Okay.
Okay, Asia?
Yes.
So have yourself a great day at school now, okay?
Thank you, and same to you.
All right. God bless you and your parents too, okay? Bye-bye. Good, nice. Okay, want to say congratulations to Asia Mason this morning. Yes, for giving us a correct response. There are a number of responses, but this one is correct also. Yeah. That's the way it's done. That's the way it's done on Morning Time right here on K105. So, right, let's just take a peek back. The word for the day today, it was peculiar. And it describes people and things that are different from the usual or normal, or that are characteristic of only one person, group, or thing. And we can say the dog's peculiar behavior worried them. Also, we can say he shared customs that were peculiar to his home country. Nice. And the thought for the day: a good life is when you smile often, dream big, laugh a lot, and realize how blessed you are for what you have. This is where we put a wrap on this segment. Quickly, let me just run through some of the things that we'll be looking at in the buzz this morning. All right. We'll be looking at the innocent or guilty. The verdict, all parties are waiting for the 24-year-old Randy John of St. David, who was charged with capital murder of 17-year-old Quinette Johnson in 2018. We'll be looking at this. What else will be? All right. A call for men's health framework. Former Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin, well, he is pushing for men to know their medical status to prevent severe consequences. This is a conversation I want us as men to have. All right? Men, we have a tendency to not want to visit the doctor at all to know what's going on. Okay? And another story that we're looking at this morning also is the local lawyer Anselm Clouden gives an update on what is happening with the Committee of Cannabis Legislation and Regulation, in which he sits as the legal advisor. So we'll be looking at these stories on the flip side of 7. But it's now time for the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather right here on Classic. For those of you on GBN TV and other social media platforms, you've got a rebroadcast of Tuesday evening's news, all right? Good. Bye-bye for now. See you on the flip side of 7.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. In a innocent or guilty? That's the verdict all parties are awaiting for now. 24-year-old Randy John of St. David, who was charged with capital murder of 17-year-old Queenette Johnson in 2018. Rena Pierre-Thomas has this update.
On Wednesday, a jury is expected to give their verdict on 24-year-old Randy John of St. David, who is charged with the capital murder of 16-year-old Queenette Johnson. The teenager was last seen on Thursday, the 18th of October 2018, when she left home to visit relatives in Springs, following a dispute with her sister. Her partially decomposed body was later found in a vacant house in Charlottesville in St. David on the 25th of October. The autopsy conducted revealed that Johnson died as a result of asphyxiation and was believed to have died between the 19th and the 20th of October 2018. Jerry Edwin, lawyer of Randy John, says that his client admits that he was with Queenette the night of her death, but maintained his innocence.
He was charged initially with non-capital murder, but in the wisdom of the Director of Public Prosecution, those charges were elevated to capital murder because the Office of the DPP believed that a sexual offense also occurred. We have just closed our case in front of the jury, and we made our arguments there. The Director of Public Prosecution,
Edwin says on Wednesday both sides will know if John is proven guilty or innocent.
Mr. Pinnock will close the case for the prosecution this afternoon. Tomorrow being a holiday, the court has advised us that she will sum up the case in front of the jury on Wednesday. And before the close of business on Wednesday, we will know whether Randy is guilty or whether he is found innocent or whether he is acquitted on some of the charges or found guilty on others.
The lawyer says he believes that criminal cases are lingering for too long, which only prolongs the pain for both the family of the deceased and the accused. He hopes that can be fixed so that the healing process can be a little easier.
I think it's appropriate for me to say that criminal cases are lingering far too long in the magistrate's court and in the high court. And it is not any fault of judges, magistrates, or clerks. It is just that our process is clogged. We must find some way to be able to handle this. And our Attorney General currently is someone who has practiced at the bar, at the civil bar, and specifically at the criminal bar. So I am very hopeful that she will use her good office to sit with the stakeholders and see what we could do.
Johnson was a former student of both St. Joseph Convent and Westerhall Secondary School. For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre-Thomas reporting.
Grenada celebrates United Nations UN Day with activities targeting students and youth. More in this report.
During this morning's flag-raising ceremony in observance of United Nations Day 2022, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell urged Grenadians to be reminded of the principles of the UN Charter, which speaks to peace and human rights.
United Nations Day, or UN Day, commemorates the anniversary of the entry into force of the United Nations Charter in 1945, at the end of World War II, and the commitment to move away from global conflict and towards global cooperation. As we stand here at the cenotaph of our fallen soldiers of World War I, we are reminded once again of the long-lasting ills of war and reaffirm our commitment to the fundamental principles of human rights, peace, and social progress outlined in the UN Charter. Now, more than ever, we must hold true to those principles. Grenada is proud to be celebrating 48 years of partnership with the United Nations and as a member of the United Nations community. And and looks forward to the continued strengthening of this relationship.
Prime Minister Mitchell says climate change and other global challenges have strengthened the need for UN support, which the NDC administration welcomes.
My administration welcomes the efforts towards UN reform, which seeks to provide more tailored and efficient support to countries, given changing global challenges such as climate change and its effects on lives and livelihoods. I thank the UN Resident Coordinator for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Mr. Didier Tribec, for his leadership and vision in mounting a timely mission to Grenada in August of this year, which provided opportunities to discuss UN support in a broad range of areas. I am happy to report that these meetings have already started to bear fruit, paving the way for increased engagement and collaboration between in-country entities and the wider UN team.
The Prime Minister called on UN member states to join towards committing to the Charter of the United Nations.
As we collectively seek to adjust to a new normal following the COVID-19 pandemic and amidst the background of the aggression in Europe, with international implications for us all, I call on all members of the United Nations to ensure their renewed commitment to the Charter of the United Nations, the promotion of tolerance, universal human rights, peaceful coexistence, and inclusive socio-economic growth. My administration remains committed to these values and stands firm in the belief that we are stronger when we work together. And so to the entire world, happy United Nations Day.
This morning's flag-raising ceremony was a part of several hybrid activities by the Barbados and Eastern Caribbean Multi-Country Office and Government of Grenada to commemorate the UN's milestone and Grenada's 48th anniversary of UN membership. On the 23rd and 24th of October, the Parliament building was lit in blue. The United Nations Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean has also partnered with the Grenada Broadcasting Network to hold a daily quiz for students on the work of the UN and a youth symposium held surrounding Grenada's transformational agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Thanksgiving Day is celebrated on October 25th, and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health with responsibility for wellness and religious affairs, Kevin Andal, wants religious bodies to lead the way by engaging their congregations in Thanksgiving sessions.
The ministry would like to really reach out to religious bodies out there. We have written to religious bodies, the Conference of Churches, Alliance of Evangelical Churches, the Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and the Islamic Foundation. But there are other churches out there that are not part of these bodies, and we would really like to reach out to them that during the period of October 21st to the 24th, that as a precursor to our National Remembrance and Thanksgiving Day, that their respective congregation engage in sessions of Thanksgiving and remembrance, and reach out to God to pray for our nation, bringing the nation before Him, giving Him thanks for what He has done for us, really bringing us out of COVID and all the other challenges that we have faced during the past few years. But most importantly, to remember, and as we remember and reflect, that we ask for His guidance to face upcoming challenges, or just as religious bodies just standing in the gap for the nation. It is a time that most Grenadians reflect, and we would like the churches, the religious bodies out there to engage their congregation likewise.
This year's Thanksgiving Day will be tomorrow, Tuesday, a public holiday, and activities will be held under the theme Remembering Mercy in Giving Thanks. National Thanksgiving service begins at 8:30 a.m. at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. GBN brings you an update on the story of Rayon Smith, the owner of Bonanza Stables. He claims that as yet he has still not received his licenses and is now between a rock and a hard place. Rena Pierre-Thomas has this update.
Those of you who remember Ryan Smith, owner of Bonanza Stables, who weeks ago cried out to the public on the situation faced in getting his license to operate his horse riding business. The horseman, as he is affectionately known, says that he may have to close his doors as he is still unable to obtain his license. Smith explains that after GBN aired his story a few weeks ago, he was contacted by the PS of Tourism and officials from the Grenada Tourism Authority to quickly address the matter, and as such, the decision was made that a veterinarian from the Ministry of Agriculture will evaluate his horse for a second opinion.
But they still take about 2 weeks, and then the veterinarian come. He and another person from the Ministry of Agriculture. When the people come up here, they watch my animals. They say, well, they don't know what they're talking about because my animal is looking real nice. In fact, they watch my pony and say, ask me how old the pony is. I tell them 22 years. And they say, whoa, Wanda looking nice, so, and it was a good vibe. So the vet tell me he's going to write up a report and give it to tourism, and then tourism going to get back to me. And I wait again, they take about 2 weeks again, and then get back to me with a letter. And the letter stating that I had to get a vaccine for my animals, even though they know my horses were vaccinated already by the professionals in the country from the other institution.
Smith says that he later received a letter from the ministry in the matter. The letter stated that in order to obtain his license, the horses must be fully vaccinated to include Eastern and Western equine septinitis and West Nile virus, which can cause death in human. It also stated that the horses should be dewormed at least 4 times a year. Ryan said that his horses are already up to date with most of the guidelines, but claims that in search of the vaccine that was outlined, he was told it is not available in Grenada.
I contacted the veterinarian and asked him, well, how I'll get a hold of this vaccine? And he told me to go back to the people from the other institution that they claim failed my horses before. So when I contact the other institution, the people tell me that this vaccine is unnecessary, it doesn't exist here, and the diseases they're talking about don't exist here, and it never existed here. No animals in Grenada never had this, so there's no need for this vaccine, and they don't have it. And the man tell me them is the people that have it.
The business owner says that he has since tried to get another meeting with the ministry on how it can be fixed, but is yet to get an audience. He is in distress as his business is now falling apart, especially now in the tourist season when he makes money. He explains that his business is not only affecting his livelihood, but that of others.
Right now they're affecting my business real bad. I mean, we just come out under a pandemic, and the COVID situation mashed up my business real bad, and I just trying to catch myself. And then people coming up with this kind of thing. So to me, it's like the Ministry of Tourism and Grenada Tourism Authority getting on worse than COVID. They're treating me worse than COVID treat me, because they're trying to take me out of business. And you can't move Grenada forward that way, because when you're doing that to me, it's not only me that getting affected. I mean, you have little youth men and things that has depend on me for a work, whether to be a tour guide or to come and clean out the stable or to train a horse or something. A lot of little work they just get. And right now, I have to lay off everybody because it's been 2 months now and I can't really get no work. When people...
Ryan says that he is still in debt and needs to pay back the bank and hopes that something can be done soon, as he is open to any solution at this point. GBN tried to contact the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Tourism on the matter and the lead vet in the Ministry of Agriculture, who visited the Bonanza stable but was told they were both out of office. The newsroom will make other attempts to contact them to get a more in-depth understanding of the issue. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett-Thomas reporting.
Former National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, Coordinator Sylvan McIntyre, is urging Grenadians to use the lessons learned from the passing of hurricanes on neighboring islands during this season to boost their own disaster preparedness plans.
We keep saying every time that when your neighbor's house or territory is on fire, you actually wet yours. So I think Grenadians, we should learn to appreciate the expertise of our own, the contributions that we are making listen to our local authority who are entrusted with the information to guide us in terms of emergency preparedness, emergency response, and most importantly, how we integrate that in our development processes, meaning that how we build houses, how we build structure, how we move around, and how we respond and react to emergencies, and how we empower ourselves, and how we also support those who are entrusted to lead us in emergency response, the support mechanism that we can provide and how we can do that. So in a nutshell, yes, while Grenada, we are happy to be receiving the little rain and the little winds sometime, and the sun that we're getting that complements, again, our little agricultural practices, etc. But we have to remember those who are there and not enjoying that kind of a privilege that we really have.
McIntyre urged Grenadians to not become complacent due to the fact that we have not been directly impacted this season. A former chief medical officer, Dr. Francis Martin, is pushing for men to know their medical status to prevent severe consequences. He made this appeal while pointing out death comparisons between men and women. Sherry Ann Blackman-Stephen has this report.
Fact. Men die before women in 8 of the 10 leading causes of death in Grenada. Fact. Men die from cancer much more than that of ladies. Fact. Men are going to die from a heart attack much more than their female counterparts. Fact. Men are going to die from strokes in a high proportion related to ladies.
That was medical doctor Francis Martin. He said from an institutional point, men are left behind when it comes to their health. Delivering remarks at World Food Day ceremony on Friday, Dr. Martin said statistics from 2015 to 2018 show a decrease in the statistics of men dying from prostate cancer. He is calling for a men's health framework to set standards and close that gap for their health.
Let us continue the national dialogue on men's health that has happened. I'm privileged to be able to see the data from 2012 to 2016 as it relates to prostate cancer. The data suggested that deaths from prostate cancer was increasing during that early time. But after looking at the data from 2015 to 2018, I think, we're beginning to see a leveling out and in some instances a dipping of the graph that relates to prostate cancer deaths. The diagnosis of prostate cancer is increasing still, but the deaths is not as much because I believe men are now listening. I honestly believe that men are now listening.
He sounded this warning to men that they need to check.
Never before in my 20 years of practice have I seen so many men show up in my office for their general check. And men are now even becoming bolder to say, I need to check on my testosterone. That's another national conversation that we need to have because our testosterone level is dropping significantly in our male population, interfering with our manhood, interfering with our ability as men to feel confident in our lives. So let the conversation continue.
Dr. Martin is advocating for men to be more aware of what they consume, as this is key to keeping healthy. He is urging that they focus on 3 main minerals: calcium to increase testosterone levels and muscle function, omega-3 to protect and strengthen the heart, and magnesium for muscle recovery. His suggestion is to seek these key minerals from natural foods. Cherry and Blackman-Stephen, GBN News.
Moving the Imani program from the Ministry of Youth Development to the Grenada National Training Agency is creating quite a stir on tonight's social media buzz.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz report.
GBN Social Buzz is reaching beyond the local platform to share with you what's trending on social media. We browse the World Wide Web and bring to you the topics inciting the most reaction and debate among youth. Government announced that the Imani program will be handed over to the Grenada National Training Agency. But what does that mean exactly for the program's future and that of its trainees? Jared Joseph sought some answers in an exclusive with the minister.
It will definitely be a collaboration between the Ministry of Youth and the Grenada National Training Agency as the transformational efforts target youth development via the Imani program. Minister with responsibility for youth, sports and culture, Ron Redhead, says what they want to address is the issue of training and employment.
Social media users took to the comment section to share their thoughts about this latest development. developments. The following views are that of members of the public and not of the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Alisa said, "What's wrong with nail technicians and barbering though? Why is it not development?" Valma added, "We need scientists trained in entomology, not just keeping of bees." Ari chimed in, "Wonderful. From experience, one shouldn't be training over 7 years and performing same duties as other staff. If you're good enough to remain on job as a trainee for such a long time, you should be good enough to be employed in that same establishment. This free labor on the training concept has to stop. After 2 or 3 years, one should be hired in their position. So much youth waste years and have nothing to show when they start something new. Government will not reward or compensate them for previous years of hard service. You have to start system from scratch all over because your time before wasn't accounted for as a worker. Who feels it knows it and who has unbiased reasoning will understand." Carolyn said, "I trust that with this new collaboration that Imani workers will finally be able to develop their careers. Before, the Imani program was just a means to no end, a program that just kept people in a fixed role with little to no opportunity for growth." That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
You've asked for it, and now it's here. The NLA announces its new mid-morning draw, commencing September 30th at 9:45 a.m. Yes, you heard right. Draws for Pick 3, Cash 4, and Playway will now be conducted 3 times daily at 9:45 a.m., 12:45 p.m., and 7:45 p.m., Monday to Friday. The Saturday draws remains twice daily. And that's not all. Simply place your non-winning Cash 4, Pick 3, and Playway tickets valued at least $10 from a single purchase in the NLA branded box at your favorite sales location. 4 chances to win 10 prizes of $1,000 each. Whoa! $10,000 is up for winnings. Compliments the NLA. Be sure to write your name, address, and contact info on your entries before submitting. Promotion runs from September 30th to October 28th and would be drawn on Friday, November 4th, 2022. NLA, making your dreams a reality while supporting sports, culture, and nation building. Must be 18 or older to participate. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Do more with your new GUT Credit Union Visa debit card, which gives you access to your cash at any Connex or Visa certified ATMs locally and internationally. Make your payments with a tap of your card using the contactless feature and have the freedom to make purchases locally, online, or overseas whenever you travel, anywhere Visa is accepted. Experience the enhanced security fraud protection through the Visa chip technology. If you don't have your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, speak to any one of our representatives today to do more. Your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, a smarter way to access your cash. More smart, more secure.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
The National Insurance Scheme continues to make it easy to access our services using the MyNIS online platform. Now we're introducing a new feature that allows you to submit your benefit claims from the convenience of your smart devices. No paper, no hassle. All you have to do is log in to my.nisgrenada.org. Select claims, fill out the relevant information, and click submit. We'll take it from there. It's that simple and that easy. Submit a claim from the comfort of your home as you rest and recuperate. Enjoy the convenience of faster claim processing and monitor the status of your claim every step of the way. We are excited to introduce this new feature to better serve you. NIS is changing the game and the way you make your claim. Access anywhere and anytime with MyNIS Online.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Wednesday, 26th October, Hot 98 FM will be blazing the airwaves from downtown St. George's. Come join the fun, meet the Hot 98 team and some of our partners in front of the Esplanade Mall from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Great music, exciting deals, huge discounts, and enough giveaways from our partners and us. Stay tuned to Hot 98.5 FM. Like and follow our social media pages to find out more about Hot in the City. We will be coming to a city near you. Mark the date, Wednesday, October 26th. Hot in the City. Hot in the City.
This is why I'm hot, hot. This is why I'm hot, 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 hot.
Let's mingle and jingle.
You mean jingle and mingle, right?
Does it really matter? Mingle and Jingle, the mid-morning program that will drive the Christmas season. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio, GBN Television, and all GBN social media platforms.
It's where the deals of the season are, where the Christmas music is played, holiday traditions are relived, and where all the fun is.
Mingle and Jingle.
Or Jingle and Mingle. Mid-mornings from November 14th to December 23rd only on the GBN network.
Made possible by West Hall Rums, Duty Free Caribbean Holdings, and Gittins Healthcare.
It's Soca Parang Indie Basket, the Spice Basket. Saturday, 5th November, featuring from Trinidad, Grunta, Baron, Marcia Miranda.
Darling, look, it's Christmas, a special time of year.
From Grenada, Carriacou String Band, Hassan Leke and Steve Theodore. Get your early bird ticket for $60 after you pay $80 and more at the door. And are available at Chucky's Bar, Brendan on the Terminal, Grenada Optical in St. George's, Gittins Pharmacy Granville, Gittins Healthcare Grandance, Chai's Bar St. Mark's, Nick and Bites Quav, St. David's Pharmacy, Calico Shopping Center, Main Street, Sotiers. It's another Chucky's promotion.
It's the
Morning and welcome back to this segment of Good Morning Grenada. It's 14 minutes after 7 o'clock. Those of you just joining us, well, it's indeed a pleasure to have you back. And we're going to take a look at what's making the social buzz this morning. And we've got 3 stories that I really want us to look at. And of course, I would appreciate your calling in and making your contribution. All right, the first story that we're going to look at is the call for men's health framework. As we heard, former Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin is pushing for men to know their medical status to prevent severe consequences. He made this appeal while pointing out death comparisons between men and women. That's the first story we'll be looking at this morning. Also, we'll be looking at, my television person is going to pull that story up. The other story we'll be looking at also is innocent or guilty. All right, the verdict all parties are awaiting now for 24-year-old Randy John of St. David, who was charged with capital murder of 17-year-old Quinette Johnson in 2018. We are going to look at that secondly. And then we are also going to look at the final story, the public consultations on marijuana. Yeah, we hear that local lawyer Anselm Clouden gives an update on what is happening with the Committee of Cannabis Legislation and Regulation, in which he sits as the legal advisor. So these are the three topical issues that are making the buzz this morning. But as you can see, those of you with me on television, Dr. Francis Martin is talking about men's health. Let's take a listen.
Fact. Men die before women in 8 of the 10 leading causes of death in Grenada. Fact. Men die from cancer much more than that of ladies. Fact. Men are going to die from a heart attack much more than their female counterparts. Fact. Men are going to die from strokes in a high proportion related to ladies.
That was medical doctor Francis Martin. He said from an institutional point, men are left behind when it comes to their health. Delivering remarks at World Food Day ceremony on Friday, Dr. Martin said statistics from 2015 to 2018 show a decrease in the statistics of men dying from prostate cancer. He is calling for a men's health framework to set standards and close that gap for their health.
Let us continue the national dialogue on men's health that has happened. I'm privileged to be able to see the data from 2012 to 2016 as it relates to prostate cancer. The data suggested that deaths from prostate cancer was increasing during that early time. But after looking at the data from 2015 to 2018, I think, we're beginning to see a leveling out and in some instances a dipping of the graph that relates to prostate cancer deaths. The diagnosis of prostate cancer is increasing still, but the deaths is not as much because I believe men are now listening. I honestly believe that men are now listening.
He sounded this warning to men that they need to check.
Never before in my 20 years of practice have I seen so many men show up in my office for their general check. And men are now even becoming bolder to say, I need to check on my testosterone. That's another national conversation that we need to have because our testosterone level is dropping significantly in our male population, interfering with our manhood, interfering with our ability as men to feel confident in our lives. So let the conversation continue.
Dr. Martin is advocating for men to be more aware of what they consume, as this is key to keeping healthy. He is urging that they focus on 3 main minerals: calcium to increase testosterone levels and muscle function, omega-3 to protect and strengthen the heart, and magnesium for muscle recovery. His suggestion is to seek these key minerals from natural foods. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Thank you very much, Sherian. And yeah, let's hear your thoughts on this men's health. All right. Predominantly, men have been more resistant in visiting the medical practitioners. All right, you'd find ladies at a higher level, a higher rate of visitations to the health facilities, checking up on their health. Now, is this a good thing or is it a bad thing as we look futuristic? Now, our men are dying, as Dr. Martin said, at a much faster rate than ladies. What do you think can be done to encourage men? Although he said that in recent times, he has been seeing signs of improvement with visitations from men. But what do you think can be done? How do you think the female companions can assist us men in making more regular visits to a medical practitioner? Good morning. We lost that caller. The number 435-2041. That's the number you can call to get in on the conversation this morning. We want to know what can be done to encourage our men to have more medical visits. Good morning.
Good morning, Yusuf.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm just quickly asking you if I could extend birthday greetings to my daughter, Brianna Samuel in Mondelez, St. George's, who's celebrating her 17th birthday today.
Well, you're on the air already, so you might as well do that. Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go right ahead. Tell her happy birthday.
Okay. Happy birthday, Brianna. Wishing you all the best from your amazing grandmother. Hoping you get through to all your goals and wishing you all the best on your 17th birthday today.
Okay, thank you very much.
She's in college.
Okay.
And have a good day.
All right, then. I hope she heard you.
All right.
Good. 435-2041, that's the number to call. We're looking at ways that we can encourage our men to have more medical checkups, to know their medical status. Give us a call. 435-2041. That's the number to call. The signs are encouraging, as Dr. Martin said. In recent times, he's seeing more visitations from men coming in to sort of know their medical status. It is important, and as he said, I think that more conversations should be had as it relates to men's holistic health, not just your prostate or your hypertensive status and so forth. Good morning. Wow, we lose this caller again. Yeah, your general health status. Ever so often, we find when men go to the doctor would say things like, had you come earlier, we would have had an earlier diagnosis and your situation could have been better. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you, man. What I would say is you can't blame us, and I'll give you the reason why you can't blame us. Years ago, men was taught to be, you have to be macho, you have to be the big man you mustn't be sick. You can't show that you're I'm not talking about probably long before my age, So men was taught to be mature and not show, even though they're feeling sick, not show that they are sick or there's something wrong with them.
Okay.
So I guess all the years this happened, and it come up to the point where men get to a point where, if you go to the doctor, you're showing immaturity. But times have changed, and the things we eat have we getting out of it, because what we eat and what the men used to eat before that used to help them is now most of it is chemicals we eat in today. So I think education is one of the best way to get it out there for the men who is reluctant. Education, let them know what the situation is, and if we don't want women to take us over totally and then deprive women of men, then we have to change our lifestyle and the way we eat and the way we drink. And I believe that will help. Otherwise, and that is had to be education, nothing else.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. Good. Thanks. Yeah, we are human too, This myth that, was, perpetuated years ago, that big men don't cry and you don't feel pain, that's joke. I cry. When the pressures are too much, I cry. Yes, I'm supposed to cry. I'm human. 435-2041. I want to hear from you. What do you think can be done to encourage men to know their medical status more? Good morning to all the medical practitioners, Dr. Francis Martin, Dr. Devon Francis, Dr. Noel, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning to you. I'm Gordon.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Not too bad, and have a great day. Now, one of there's a few reasons, but one of it is willpower. I think men have a stronger will. That's what the women, knowing that they're born to lead. 2, fear. Fear of breaking down and not being able to take care of your responsibilities. And 3, the economics. The economics is not there. So most of the time, the dollars don't run. And then how do I go to the doctor and suppose the doctor prescribe me home? What do I do? So those factors are preventing men. If the economics is running, then yes, I believe men is going to face the doctor quicker. But you see, the resilience that men have does keep them going. Well, I think I'll be better, so they just stay home.
But do you think that's the right thing to do? That's the right approach to take to this?
No, it is not. But you see, the security. Once you have the security, you will take the chances. But if you know you don't have the security, the fear creeping, and look, well, if I die, I die. I just can't afford to stay home. And those are some of the reasons. Many more, but those are some of the reasons why. If we could, you see, I always talk about the economy. This morning in the news, as you said, the world bodies are now crying out for to help the Caribbean countries as it relates to trade. But what is our leaders? What our leaders have been doing over the years as it relates to trade? We don't have much to trade. Had they been working on that? So all these things add up together, create the problem that men have. We cannot break down, and if we think we're going to break down, we just stay home.
Okay.
It's not an easy situation. We have to look at that very critically, to giving men the power, in particular, men the power to take care of everything.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller.
Bye-bye.
Good. Have a good one. It's 26 minutes after 7 o'clock. That's the first conversation we're having on the buzz this morning. What steps can be taken to encourage our men to know their medical status? There's a bigger picture, right? I remembered I was very timid in going and have that prostate check, with the finger and so forth. I never dreamt of doing that, but it was having a conversation with my doctor at one time, Dr. Francis, and when he brought it out in such a way, for like 30 seconds of discomfort, are you willing to give up a life for that, And that is when I really went out. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Innocent. Men have a tendency to not want to be considered as weaker vessels. Consequently, when something starts bothering them with their health, they do not take it into consideration. The women have a tendency to they look at the men as they have to contribute to giving them perhaps the money. So they demand the money to go to the doctor from the men. So the men sacrifice themselves for the women. So that's why you find more women would go to doctors and the men would stick with their complaint and so on.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question though. Is that wise? Is that wise? Is there any wisdom in this? Because we're looking at long term. Okay, you're in a relationship now, and okay, your female companion requests money from you to visit the doctor. You sacrifice yourself. But what happens if you keep doing that? Eventually, you won't be there. So where's the wisdom there?
I don't know if there's wisdom. It could be wisdom. You could be wise by giving the lady money. It depends on what you mean by your concept of wisdom. Anyhow, as far as I'm concerned, the ladies and they're concerned about their health more, and the doctors facilitate the ladies even more if they don't even have the full amount to pay to the doctors. The doctors have a tendency to demand all the money from the male companion. So the male seems to have some shame in visiting the doctors regularly. So
that is being rather speculative, eh? Because I know of some very good doctors that will attend to you for, just for attendance sake, even if you don't have the money.
That's my opinion.
Okay. All right, thank you, caller. We get the gist. 30 minutes after 7 o'clock, I want to say good morning. Good morning to all the bus drivers of the nation. We are going to entertain 2 more callers on this subject. They will take a commercial break and then we'll come back with another topic that's making the buzz this morning. Good morning. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, morning.
Hi, the innocent one, man.
How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Listen, just to follow up on that caller. Now, if you're in a relationship and you have a good wife or good woman, she not would only ask you for the money, but would encourage you. Let us go to the doctor. You need to check up. And if you're not hearing once, she would continue to influence you. You see, the world is going the wrong way.
Right.
So they're not following Bible principles, and everything is going wrong.
Yeah, I am of the opinion that a doctor's visit should be a family affair.
Exactly. That's why it's a family physician.
Yes.
So if a woman is saying, I need money to go to the doctor, we already going the wrong way. We know how men think already. So you see, you need the encouragement. So if the wife or the girlfriend does not do that, then you have the healthcare professionals, the nurses, you have the government, you have education programs. So there is a chain that reaches the population, starting from the home, to get men, encouragement. A prostate exam is $80. That's the total PSA. And if you're doing other tests, the percentage free PSA and free PSA, it's about 140. How many men comes up with that? Let's look into these things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. So that's a good way to look at it. All right, folks, tell you what, we take a commercial break and we'll be back. On the flip side, we will be looking at the public consultations on marijuana, where lawyer Anselm Clouden gives an update on the committee that was set up to look at the cannabis situation. We take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
Do you know you can lower your electricity bill by changing the way you do laundry? Front-loader washing machines are designed to reduce electricity and water consumption. When upgrading, buy with this in mind. You can also lower your electricity bill by doing full loads of laundry, using the sunlight to dry your clothes, and ironing in bulk. As an individual consumer, I cannot impact global fuel prices. However, I can ease the burden of rising fuel rates by changing the way I do laundry. What can you do?
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
It's the Deacon Mitchell interview on Interesting Grenadians this Thursday night, October 27th at 8 p.m. on GBN TV and social media platforms. You won't want to miss it. The Deacon Mitchell interview is brought to you through the kind compliments of ACB Grenada Bank, Simply Smarter Banking, eCart Grenada. We deliver all your daily needs. Gittins Pharmacare, the pharmacy that cares, and Hideaway Waterfront Apartments in Grand Anse for you to relax and enjoy time away from the buzz. The Deacon Mitchell interview, Thursday night, 8 p.m. GBN. Don't you miss it.
Wednesday, 26th October, Hot 98 FM will be blazing the airwaves from downtown St. George's. Come join the fun, meet the Hot 98 team and some of our partners in front of the Esplanade Mall from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Great music, exciting deals, huge discounts, and enough giveaways from our partners and us. Stay tuned to Hot 98.5 FM. Like and follow our social media pages to find out more about Hot in the City. We will be coming to a city near you. Mark the date, Wednesday, October 26th. Hot in the City. Hot in the City.
This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
mentioned the wing kai, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power there.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake, I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio, The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You gotta tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. And what's making the buzz this morning again? We have local lawyer Anselm Clouden. He gives an update on what is happening with the Committee of Cannabis Legislation and Regulation, in which he sits as the legal advisor. My television producer is going to look and bring up that clip for you so you can have a better appreciation for what was said. And then I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Grenada, young people who were convicted of having small quantities of the drug can get the charges removed from their record through a pardon.
So advise that young persons, 25 and under, that were charged, some in prison, whether charged or in prison, or charged and convicted, a pardon could be given to them now, especially those under 25, because they would want to pursue studies overseas. They may want to be mobile in the job market. It sometimes creates denial on such applications.
Clouden, who is the legal advisor on the Committee for Cannabis Legislation and Regulation, says that the committee only met twice since its formation, but indicated that they are hard at work revising the fundamental process of the decriminalization of marijuana.
Paramount in whatever legislation is recommended, that legislation, of course, would be in keeping with the CARICOM guidelines, because CARICOM had done extensive research in this area, both on the medicinal front and also on the recreational front, and they made certain recommendations.
The lawyers said a part of their plan is to host public consultation through the media and on social media platforms.
And most importantly, the dissemination of information and public involvement and participation, so that we are looking to have a program where the public can interface with members of the commission or a member of the commission, and views could be expressed. That would also take place online, the technologies in hand, so that you have Facebook and other such platforms that we intend to use to get things moving quickly.
Another factor that will be addressed is the strategy that will be put in place to ensure that people under the legal age will have no access to the drug. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Okay, good. You heard the report there from lawyer Anselm Clouden. I've listened to quite a number of people share their views and opinion as it relates to the decriminalization of cannabis, locally called marijuana or weed or sensi. Tell me, what is your take on this? Are you for or against? Well, I don't think it really matters whether you're for or against it. That's the general direction. That's the general consensus that is happening, not just in Grenada, but around the world. There are some places that it's already enforced. It's already decriminalized, and so forth. So what is your take on the progress, Grenada's new thrust, as it relates to the decriminalization of marijuana? Tell me, I want to hear from you. 435-2041. Something that interested me a lot in that that excerpt there with Anselm was the fact where young persons can have their convictions expunged from their criminal record. I think that's a move in the right direction. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Innocent.
How are you?
I am good.
Okay, talk to me.
My take on the legalization of marijuana, I'm a bit worried. As a young mother, our population is so young, and I'm wondering if if this is not a step in the wrong direction. Already, I mean, some of the young people and adults are kind of so disrespectful with smoking of the marijuana, in public places, and if you talk about it, the manner in which they behave. So most of our people nowadays are coming down with asthma, and the smoke is not good for them. And who stands to benefit from legalizing marijuana? Yes, for all, every now and then you hear about a drug bust, and so much marijuana is the police have to go there and arrest the guys and go to courts and money for lawyers and all of that. Who really stands to benefit from marijuana legalization?
Let me ask you a question quickly. Do you think marijuana or cannabis is all bad?
I personally believe so, yes.
So you don't believe the medical reports that says it has medicinal benefits?
Well, that is beneficial to maybe the doctors and those in the lab. I'm thinking about the ordinary man on the street, our young boys and girls that, roam and that maybe sitting on the block and smoking. What is that going to do to their health?
Okay.
Their brain? I've heard of a case years ago where a gentleman said that his friends told him that marijuana is good and if you smoke it, it's going to give you energy to walk. He smoked and went to the mountain to pick up his nutmeg and only got up after 4 the evening.
Okay.
Because he couldn't get up. I mean, he was so drunk from smoking the marijuana, so it probably might be good to some people, but I don't believe this is good for our young people in the public. I personally don't believe so. I'm worried. Go to the Monge Mental Hospital. Talk to the doctors there. See how much of our young people are affected as a result of smoking cannabis. And this thing has negative effect on our young population. I personally disagree with that. Okay. I don't know what Grenada stands again. Let us know. But, for our young people, I don't believe that's the way to go.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. I think hence the reason why there must be quite a lot of consultation on this thing, because there are different schools of thoughts out there, As with everything else, the overuse and abuse of it would have adverse negative effects. But the doctors, the medical practitioners are saying that there are some medicinal benefits. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Innocent. How are you?
I am alive and thankful.
It's great to hear this hope of thought about this conversation. Innocent, we have to look at decriminalization versus legalization, right? To decriminalize marijuana simply means that you will not make it a crime, right? For marijuana use. I'm not sure in all segments or which segments, but the people who have gone to jail for it, it means you will not make it a crime. So decriminalization means not making it a crime anymore. And I don't think people understand that. So the legal team needs to go to the communities and share with them. It doesn't mean that the law is going to permit you to stand up and smoke marijuana on a bus or in the middle of the market or the terminus or whatever. We cannot be that lawless or brawlish, because I think that would put us 200 or 400 years back. We are looking at the financial gains to be made. If you have plantations and now they're using the cannabis oil, you have different medicinal healing properties. We're focusing on that now because we've always focused on who's smoking and who addicted and so on. Right? That's all people are seeing. And it's not about young people only. I'm not harping on anybody's points, but it's not about young people. You have some older people who have psychologically addictive behaviors that do not involve cannabis at all. So if we want to limit the conversation to just on the block and, in a street corner, then we have not really begun to examine the full understanding of decriminalization. All right? Have a great day.
You too. Thank you very much, caller. Have yourself a great day yourself. Yeah. And I do endorse what this caller said. There must be a lot of conversations on this, because I think some people are misunderstanding. There's a lot to be explained as it relates to the legal vernacular surrounding this thing, because decriminalization is so different from legalization, and I think that is where we have to start. We have to rearrange people's ignorance as it relates to the two terminologies. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah. What I want to say is that this thing with removing the criminal record if you catch a guy that's smoking, is a very good thing. Because maybe the police and the law or the government or the smoking population in Grenada is about half the population. I know from seeing. Okay, I'm telling you from a young age, not now, from a young age in the 60s, come up into the 70s. Marijuana around years, not since our foreparents. My generation in the 56, coming in the 50s, 60s, come up. We used to smoke. We smoking. But the only way sometimes adults or anyone know that we smoke is when they watch your eye or you'll find you looking daily. We always go in some back place, behind some tree, someplace far away from people and smoke. Right now, they're smoking marijuana anyway, and we used to do it like a part-time thing, but right now, it's like they are slaves to it. If you check it out, they are slaves to it. They are people that smoking and handling marijuana. They'll beat you up for a thing if you interfere it. They do you anything for the marijuana.
And why is that so? Why do you think that is so? Why are people so protective and abusive as it relates to people interfering with the marijuana and stuff like that? Why is it so?
Well, one of the things is finance, money, because they think they make money out of it. Look at on the block. I think you've seen it. They're among the blocks they are around, right? And look at some of the guys. They are so proud to have this little white envelope or bag or what it is, with a two pack of hemp, one pack of cigarette, and a box of matches and something, and they're selling it. That's like business for them, and they are very proud of that. No, the next thing is if you legalize, it's legalized completely. I'll give you another. China, America, England, Canada, there's a place in the desert where they're planting huge amount of marijuana. I think after Canada, China is one of the biggest planters. And then you come down in the Caribbean now, and you have all Jamaica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and even these islands, Trinidad, all of them, they don't plant in marijuana like us. So when this thing is legalized, it will hardly bring any financial benefit to a country like Grenada, because it's going to be the same thing. We're importing everything. When a foreigner coming, let's say coming from England or America or wherever, Canada, wherever, you think they're going to want to come down here and wait till it's such? And the marijuana will be much cheaper, so they're coming down. If they come down there and saying for a month, I need a half pound, I come down with my half pound. When I come to Grenada, the only way I really might buy a weed from Grenada is if I want to taste the quality. It's the quality. It comes just like our cocoa and nutmeg. We have good quality, but it's what we're doing with it. And the other country is dominating us. But there is good medical benefits in it. So they have to be, and another thing, and the question you asked there, a lot of the things in this world we have to know is by generation. The generation is changing everything. Every generation comes. They comes with their system of what they like, what they want to do, and think. But you may try to steer them, but the generation changing everything. You can check from your great-great-grandfather what they used to do, even from slavery. Slavery was a type of generation. That generation moved away. We're moving on, but it is how, I don't know how we're moving, but we're moving. Which way we're moving, but again, a lot of the movement we are making, we suppose as young people, we are supposed to be mixing some of the policies and the things that we know from the older generation and modifying, bringing in and modify everything. But it seems that once you reach a certain age, you could give any advice. They don't see that. They see their generation stuff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. Thank you all so much. Folks, this is where we take a final commercial break in this segment, and we'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
It's the Deacon Mitchell interview on Interesting Grenadians this Thursday night, October 27th at 8 p.m. on GBN TV and social media platforms. You won't want to miss it. The Deacon Mitchell interview is brought to you through the kind compliments of ACB Grenada Bank, Simply Smarter Banking, eCart Grenada. We deliver all your daily needs. Gittins Pharmacare, the pharmacy that cares, and Hideaway Waterfront Apartments in Grandance for you to relax and enjoy time away from the buzz. The Deacon Mitchell interview, Thursday night, 8 p.m. GDN. Don't you miss it.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Who does man of the party? Tell them it's 4-7 trade. Shout it, let them know where we represent 4-7 trade. Who's the body's passing? 4-7 trade. Them no crazy like.
Let's mingle and jingle.
You mean jingle and mingle, right?
Does it really matter? Mingle and Jingle, the mid-morning program that will drive the Christmas season. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio, GBN Television, and all GBN social media platforms.
It's where the deals of the season are, where the Christmas music is played, holiday traditions are relived, and where all the fun is.
Mingle and Jingle.
Or Jingle and Mingle. Mid-mornings from November 14th to December 23rd only on the GBN network.
Made possible by Wester Hall Rums, Duty Free Caribbean Holdings, and Gittins Healthcare.
Coughs and sneezes spread diseases, so cover coughs and sneezes, please. Not with a rag or bandana. They trap germs. When you use the rag again, you put germs on your hands and everything else you touch. When you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and nose with tissue. Throw the tissue in a bin and wash your hands afterwards. If you don't have a tissue, cough into your sleeve or elbow. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers are also effective in cleaning hands.
Prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
Disaster management.
All right, folks, it's just about wrapping up time here. We've got to join the BBC, but let me just quickly take to our WhatsApp platform. And there's a comment there that, I like. It says, excuse me, why just young people? People over 25 want U.S. visas and may want to study too. What against policy and law is this? Pardon all and relieve all. And to the person who says it's all bad, let us deal with data and facts rather than hearsay. And remember, there will be regulations and we will all be well. I like this. And as it relates to the previous conversation we were having about men's health, someone says, good morning. My mom and I made the appointment for my brother every year and reminded him of it up to the day. Sounds like it was nagging, but it has paid off. Because of that, a close call has been averted, and now he's making his appointments for himself and does not need reminders. That's good. That's all good. All right, so folks, those of you who participated, thank you very much for being a part of the buzz this morning, and we look forward to another one tomorrow, should the good Lord spare our lives. Those of you who have to leave us now, well, thanks for riding along with us, and join us tomorrow. But this is where we wrap up. We've got to join the BBC. Until then, bye-bye. Love you. Bye-bye.